Is this heaven?
No, it's a podcast. Welcome to the Field of Geeks podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 84 of the Field of Geeks podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Mitch.
And I'm Steve.
Yay!
Woo!
We're back. It's cold outside
Oh,
here in
84.
Iowa.
84.
84?
That's impressive.
Really?
Yeah. 84 shows?
yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant 84 like as in the temperature.
Oh, no. It's a little colder
I was like,
than that.
man, something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, 84.
I think
well,
your core body temperature might be 84
yeah,
right now.
probably. Yeah, 84 shows of this particular news,
Right.
show.
Yeah, more specials and stuff on top of
Still,
that. But yeah,
84.
that's
Oof.
pretty great.
Yeah, no, it's always a blast,
Oh, yeah.
week by week. So, yeah, been doing this 3 years now.
Wow. That says something.
Yeah. It says we've done it for 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, I
Exactly.
haven't, but you guys have.
I remember that first Faithful show. It was on my table in the kitchen. We had one speaker or one microphone.
One microphone.
And we were yelling into it and
And
having...
it was a dynamic mic. So
It was,
we
yeah.
weren't all centered with the dynamic mic. So it was like, yeah. But we had fun.
Oh, yeah.
A long show. But,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Baby steps, Then Steve guested on a few episodes after that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was hooked. He was
Yeah.
begging to join us.
I kept begging and begging and begging. And
We get these creepy treats at our doorsteps.
Well, he paid his dues. That helped too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that $50,000 in cash.
that goes a long way.
It does.
it was hard to get in non-sequential, but...
Yeah.
I finally got it, so
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Oh, no problem.
New car's still working well. Thank you.
So yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone, and listening to us. We got a great show for you. Happy Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
That means Star Wars Last Jedi is out. This is Thursday.
All I know is that as soon as we leave here, I'm on an internet blackout. I'm not checking any internet
Yeah.
of any sort
I've been
until
on
I
it.
can see it on
Yeah.
Monday.
It's hard.
It's
'Cause-
hard. It's very hard, but nothing. I can't do it.
Luckily, like most places I watch reviews on, like I don't watch any reviews. I just watch kind of the reaction, but they've been generous and like really trying to shut people down who are trying to review. Like I guess there was a Variety review recently that gave away a lot.
Oh boy.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
And so this is, can't remember which movie it was last time that I was so like just trying to avoid.
Stay away
Anything.
from any info, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know the director has been telling people to not tell people. He's like imploring people to not give it away, until people see it. And so, yeah, that's it'll be fun though.
But
Can't wait.
I can't wait either. I'm super psyched.
I just, I have to wait till Monday because I was too slow to get tickets over the
Right.
weekend, and so
Are they completely booked everywhere?
I don't know if they're completely booked, but I know when I could go this weekend, they
Yeah.
were booked.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
I mean, there could be another showing, but it worked out that Claire and myself are going to
sure.
go on Monday. So.
Right on.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I'm seeing it tomorrow. Yeah, I can't wait. I know I'm going to want to see it more than once. So,
Oh yeah, we're doing a twofer on Monday,
lucky.
2 in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'd love to do that if I had the time.
Yeah, just one to take it in, and then the second one to digest and start,
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
bust
That's
through.
perfect. So you'll probably have the best review out of all of
Yeah. I cannot wait.
I can't. Yeah, same here. So we'll have a review next week, I believe, sometime.
Yep.
So excited about that. News flash. Woody Harrelson has joined Venom. This is the Marvel Sony film starring Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Jenny Slate, and Riz Ahmed. Due out October 5th, 2018. Netflix's The Punisher has been given a Season 2. The Punisher stars John Barenthal. Season 2 may drop 2019. Creed 2 gets a director. Stephen Campbell Jr. has been chosen by Stallone and Michael B. Jordan. Stallone was originally going to direct. Creed and the upcoming Black Panther director Ryan Coogler will produce. Dolph Lundgren may also star. Due out November 21st, 2018. For all other news, keep listening. Please check out Field of Geeks on all social media. Listen to them on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, and fieldofgeeks.com. Time for the main event. Let's talk about, this new Disney Fox deal.
Yeah, I mean, it just happened overnight. No big deal.
I don't even know who these companies are.
Are you? Can you
Is this like an
believe
architecture firm or a Disney Fox?
Disney Fox, yep. Yep. I created
Import-export business.
Yeah.
But, we first talked about this back in November, and, I think, at least I knew from my point of view, like, I didn't really think it would come to be, and I think we all just kind of, threw it to the side, like, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Just, I
But
can't
Disney
believe it.
is Disney.
Yeah.
They pretty much get anything they want.
True.
They want it, they got it, yeah. Well, they did pay a little over $50 billion, so, yeah. I couldn't buy that.
What was the percentage that set them back?
Well, I know it's not all in cash. A lot of it is assumed debt. And other things like that. I mean, there's different components than just, hey, here's $60 billion in cash. But
I want to hold that check.
Regardless, it is still
an
insanely huge transaction.
It's incredible. So for those who don't know, Disney has bought Fox's film and TV empire. Fox, they're going to become strictly news and sports, from what I read.
Good.
So this means X-Men rights go back to Disney.
Good.
Now, everyone with their hopes up with Hugh Jackman returning, he's not going to return.
Right.
I think he is. I think most of us think, like, you can't top Logan.
No, you can't.
You can't do it.
And I don't think it's because someone is saying that you can't come back. I think he's doing the right thing and saying, I gave this last performance. I said before this was going to be my last performance, and what a performance it was.
He's almost Wolverine for 20 years.
Oh yeah,
so,
17 years.
Yeah, luckily he aged so well that he could keep playing this character. But Fantastic Four is coming back as well.
Really, I know that was one point of contention.
Yeah, that was talked about before the deal was finalized, but so far they have included Fantastic Four going back to Disney. Fantastic Four, I guess, German company named Constant Film owned the rights, and they chose 20th Century Fox as a distributor long ago.
Yeah.
So many thought it'd be easy just to buy them out, and maybe Disney did that behind the scenes, or buying Fox in a way made that deal go away. I'm not sure, but it appears so far in the news that Fantastic Four is back into the MCU. So, which
we can see a Captain America and Human Torch crossover.
Yeah, I think Chris Evans himself said he'd love to.
He did. That's where I got that. I think on Twitter or something I saw that.
He is Captain America. I swear.
He is. He's the best.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, this is huge. This is extremely huge.
So one question I have is, so Fox is just going to do sports and news. What about original programming on Fox, like Family Guy, Simpsons, The Orville?
Disney. It's all Disney.
What?
Right, but will it still be aired on a Fox station?
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's a good question. Well, I don't know if they would rename it because they bought the film and TV rights, so that means they have the right, I would assume, to use Fox.
So then it should be just business as usual as far as the network itself. Okay, that's good news because
I couldn't imagine that
question.
big of a shakeup to have Disney then create another channel just based on solely more adult themed stuff. Because could you imagine Hannah Montana up next, Family Guy?
Yeah. I mean,
turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Yeah, as far as I know, I'm sure they're still working everything out. Like, a lot of people are concerned about Deadpool because, those are rated R movies. People like it that way. So far, Bob Iger, he's the president of Disney, I believe. He doesn't have a problem with it staying that way. So, I mean, it's going to make the money. I don't think they care. And Disney's released things before rated R.
I know if the first one had not come out, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't. That would have been vetoed somehow, and PG-13 at the worst.
And there's so many good things from this. If you're like a Marvel fan,
Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah, exactly, the original cut. Yeah, and they can now put the 20th Century Fox. And I'm curious to know if The Last Jedi is going to have that before the Lucasfilm, just because it's so.
I would assume so. Well, I don't know. Maybe did Force Awakens?
No, because they didn't have the, I just wondered because of the timing. Thursday it was announced.
I would say probably by this point, no.
Yeah.
Of course, it could have been in the works a long time and the deal done. They were just waiting to release the information once everything was finalized.
I'm anxious to see, but in the future they could totally do that. And of course, you use the original cut. With all this great news, there's some, drawbacks. Like, with your Logan, you had these standalone films kind of have a possibility. And I don't know if that's going to happen now because they're all in the MCU.
Yeah.
But, still, you got that film and they can't take that away from you. So
it seems like Disney's ready to work with a grittier version of things. So, there was another article that I read today saying that get ready for Marvel rated R films just because Deadpool did so well. So, if now that they have Deadpool, maybe they're willing to take a chance and start really
that was
pushing
Kevin
the
Feige's
stuff.
motto. He wasn't going to do rated R, but of course, he didn't. They planned the next 20 films, so I think this whole thing is going to change many things. Maybe they'll have a subdivision for more adult content. I'm not sure. I mean, if you look at Netflix's The Punisher, for instance, holy crap, that's, That
was another thing you were saying, Steve. I mean, what's going to happen with Netflix now with all these Marvel movies?
Yeah, hopefully they still can maintain their original programming with Marvel, Jessica Jones. I know this next season's coming out on that. Luke Cage, all that stuff. And I know Punisher, the second season, it was announced, which is amazing.
Yes. Yep.
But I don't know. Everyone knows that I'm a huge DC guy, but the Marvel stuff on Netflix is the best superhero stuff out there anywhere, bar none, in my opinion, at least. Sure. And it's that'd be a miss to lose that stuff. So.
And as far as I know, like that's dealing with the Disney streaming service they're trying to put into effect. But contract wise, I don't think they can take those shows off Netflix.
Good.
Because they have that Netflix stamp on them.
Yeah.
Netflix did develop those shows.
Right.
So it's not like Disney did everything for them.
Right. My concern is they just stop.
I know. I get you. I get you. I know that would suck. But maybe they could give us another Defenders or something if they're going to have to go out.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, there's so many possibilities now, and I'm just wondering how they're going to take all this. With I think there's rumor that Avengers 4 may be starting to be rewritten a little bit because they did that with Civil War. They had a contingent plan if they couldn't get Spider-Man. So, I don't know. You also don't want to jam everything together. Right. That's
hey, look, there's the X-Men. How'd you get here? Well, a plane.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
And I don't want them to joke up the X-Men,
Yeah.
One thing I loved about the X-Men was that, and that, those movies had their flaws too, but it was a more serious approach to it. There wasn't a joke every 19 seconds, and I like that.
They're actually trying for more drama, it seems, with these other X-Men movies. It's, and a lot of people, you have fans of that and you have fans that would like to see it the other way.
They love the jokes, and I get that. Yeah. That's totally fine. I just, for my own taste, I'd like to see him continue with that kind of a more somber tone.
Sure.
Another nice thing, we finally get to say mutants.
That's
right.
True.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I'm very excited for, I don't know how they can do this, but Fantastic Four. They really need to. I know they got time is on their side, but I would love for Stan Lee to be able to see a really good Fantastic Four. He moves on, let's say, and he'll probably live for another 20 years, so it'll happen. I'm just kidding.
The Futurama him.
I hope so, Stan, if you're listening.
Yeah. He's an Icelandic shark. He'll be around for 512 years.
But wow, it's like I wish they would have tried harder sooner because that was his baby, really. That brought him into. He was going to quit the business. He didn't like what he was doing.
In Fantastic Four, regardless of kind of how it's turned out, that magazine launched Marvel, into the stratosphere, and there's a lot to be said about all those characters, and you do them right. Come on, those guys are great.
Really isn't.
With all the good news, though, I don't want to put a damper on it, but the old adage, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Did these other companies force Disney to make better movies? Did it make them better? Is my only concern. I know that's probably a huge assumption, but one concern that I do have is now we have the rights, something will happen, the quality will slip.
if they stick to what they're doing now, which they have Marvel Studios basically calling the shots, and then with Star Wars, they have Kathleen Kennedy, head of Lucasfilm. They keep those subdivisions, and those subdivisions are producing like great work. I could see that continuing versus we're going to talk about it later, but the WB and DC thing, like that's a good example of you're not doing it right, in my opinion.
Reeling it back, yeah.
We'll get into that, but yeah, I think it's I think they all need each other, you know, because you don't want to Disney it up too much, you know. Disney hasn't always been the best. Right,
but, you know, at the same time, I think they're smart enough to know that if it's working, don't go crazy with it. You know, let the formula roll.
Yeah. And he spent over $500 billion, so I think they're not going to try to change too much.
Right.
Maybe we'll have new Disney princesses. That's been a joke. All the xenomorphs and Planet of the Apes. I mean, it's like, oh boy. It's crazy, though, how, to me, I would think that's like a monopoly situation, but they never raised any of that in the headlines I saw.
No, because you still have Warner Brothers and...
I mean, the whole antitrust piece right now is in such disarray, not just as far as the movie industry, but in general, that I think this is a good time to get under that radar.
Yeah.
You know, so they were smart.
Because it's actually one less studio off the market in a way, because Disney's like taken over. So you got that ripple effect's going to, you know, it's going to cause a lot of people, unfortunately, lose their jobs because, you know, Disney has distribution. They don't need Fox's distribution division. So that's going to be very interesting how that plays out. And it sucks, but I mean, it happens. It happens everywhere, you know.
Yeah, right before Christmas seems about corporate right.
Yeah, well,
no kidding, right?
Sorry.
Hey, maybe they'll have a Christmas party at the Nakatomi. You know,
Yeah.
that's their headquarters. I'd love to see that building in real life. Oh, be awesome. Reenact a few scenes.
Yeah.
Greatest Christmas movie ever. Die Hard.
So with $58 billion, what do you think Fox is going to do?
Well, they're going to invest everything into sports, and I don't know.
My God, that's a lot of money.
The price tag was so high they couldn't say no. So
one of those, write down a number.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. They just took the very first offer. I was ready to pay $120 billion, but here we are.
Bob Iger pulled that out of his wallet.
Yeah,
exactly.
One of 20 wallets.
Can't wait for a Pixar X-Men movie.
Well, what I
think Toy Story.
That, you know, down the road, that's probably going to happen. You're going to have Walt or Mickey Mouse and Star Wars, or I don't really want that to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I hope not. Maybe when they get desperate, if they ever get to that point, and then watch Warner Brothers buy them out.
That'd be hilarious, though, in a Star Wars scene or something like that. They're at a
20,
bar.
30 years from now.
I'll be gone, so that's fine. Let them
They're at a bar and Mickey Mouse is having a drink. Ho ho! I'll have another beer, Joe.
Yeah, but you'll be at Warner Brothers making that deal,
right?
You didn't know that? I've seen the future, man.
Have you? Well, good. I'll stop interfering.
By the way,
then if
good job in the Green Lantern movie.
Thanks.
That was very good.
Yeah, you know,
and you played it yourself. That was awesome. You directed it, wrote it.
I had a trainer.
Yeah,
kind of helped out a little bit.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah. But I think with the Fantastic Four, they should totally get Brad Bird. Since he did the best Fantastic Four movie in The Incredibles, that would be great to see him do something with him in live action. Because he has done live action before, so it's not like, oh boy.
It's a first foray into it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously they're going to, I don't know what they're going to do. If they're going to shelf it for a while.
Yeah.
I don't want them to rush it, you know.
I don't either.
Have a good idea.
Right.
You know?
Will we see the introduction of characters that we all thought were written off just because other companies had them? Do you think that that's a possibility? Like all of a sudden, poof, Logan's back. Poof, Fantastic Four's back.
I think with Fantastic Four they would, just because they want to get the movie right, you know. Yeah. But there's almost a Spider-Man scenario where we know you got bit by a spider. We get it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to keep showing us that. The Waynes don't have to continue to get shot every movie. You know what I mean? So I know what you're saying. I think if they're going to be using new cast stuff like that, I think they might have a little bit of that going on. But I don't know. That's a good question.
You talking about the characters in general?
Yeah, well, we've talked about it in previous podcasts, you know, that it seems like when Fantastic Four was finally ended, that it seemed like a move by Marvel to get Fantastic Four back. But they made another Fantastic Four movie. Logan gets written off and killed. Yeah. But, there's a Logan movie. So, and it's a proper way for Hugh Jackman to retire the character. The other concern that I have is with the current X-Men, I know they're just making the Dark Phoenix saga.
Yep.
They've got such a great cast now with these younger people. And it's promising under the right director. I like the new professor. I like the new Magneto. Mm-hmm. I think they work great together. My only concern is Disney gets in there, but like you said, Steve, Disney's not going to try to ruin a good thing. So, do they keep the cast that they have going? And if it gets stale, do they replace them? Obviously, Disney might have an itch to, just like Indiana Jones, once they got the rights to Indiana Jones, let's make another one. Mm-hmm. Are they going to bring back Logan? How quickly will it be? Will they introduce him back into the X-Men movies? Will they? Because I know I would like to see a Wolverine Hulk movie. Because there's, or a Spider-Man Deadpool movie. Those would be great. You know how much Deadpool likes to egg on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, these are just possibilities, but let's test them out. And with
Spider-Man being so like kid friendly, more kid friendly, let's say.
Oh yeah.
If you had a Deadpool in there, you could have fun with that. Like every time he curses, there's animation that goes in front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in front of his mask that's already covering his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like blur it out. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting. Maybe with Doctor Strange's time stone he has, forgive me, I'm not saying it right, but with all this Infinity Stones and stuff, there's a time gem.
Yeah.
So maybe it would cause a ripple effect somehow, some way once those the new Avengers movie is done with, or the next one, and then that's how you can incorporate the characters. Because otherwise, it's like, well, we've been battling this whole time, and you guys been upstate New York just kicking it.
Yeah, so. I think you're right. I think the Infinity Gauntlet's going to have some sort of say in how this universe.
I think that'd be the best way to do it, because you could use that cast still, and they exist now, so you don't have to. And their origins have shifted as well, so you could totally play with alternate like pasts and looks and all that stuff. So
I feel like we're going to get on the new Avengers movie probably 3 out of the 5 Infinity Stones in the first movie. If they do it right, I can see exactly that happening. Like once his glove goes on, there's a big shockwave, but we don't. I mean, it's just shockwave. We don't see anything. It doesn't mean anything. But then, like, maybe they introduce an X-Men movie and something happens, and that kind of makes the audience realize that it reset the universe in a way.
Yeah,
I think the end of Avengers, the first movie, is going to be Thanos putting on the last gem.
You think so?
Having a full gauntlet.
What a cliffhanger that would
city
be.
Right there. Yeah.
That could be too. That'd be good.
That's how I would do it somehow.
Yeah.
Well, get in there and do it. I'm so tired of my friends having great ideas and studios have to call the shots.
Yeah.
It's like, dang it, if you just do this.
Right.
I know, it's an endless
it's a cycle.
Annoyance. But let's get into the X-Men Dark Phoenix. Pictures were released recently in EW featuring Sophia Turner on the cover. She's on fire, but it's a beautiful shot. Like, wow, I didn't expect these images.
She's awesome anyway. I mean, I'm excited to see this one.
Did you think she was pretty good in Apocalypse?
I did.
Yeah, me did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, Game of Thrones, if someone's watched Game of Thrones, you've hated and liked her character.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go through both of that with her, but you kind of do that with a lot of the other characters too, but she's really, I think, as an actress, grown pretty well, and she's just like a really good kid too. You see her in interviews, and she genuinely likes this role, and I think it's going to carry through.
Then,
yeah,
because she can alternate between good and bad,
which
is going to happen. Hopefully, it's not a Last Stand rehash.
Right. Well, and you guys have already grown up with her being in Game of Thrones. I started with X-Men.
Yeah.
So it's completely different, like a completely different take than what you guys have. And she blew me away with her performance just of Jean Grey.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
And, with Professor X embracing the Phoenix this time around, I don't know if that was their way of fixing the possibilities of a 3 happening like it did before. But yeah, these images are beautiful. I think apparently there's a space scene in this where the X-Men have to go up into space and rescue somebody, and a solar flare hits the X-Jet, and then the Phoenix is unleashed within Jean Grey, and there's a shot of her between ships, looks like, and she's just glowing. Is that similar to the comics?
Yes,
do you know?
There's a similar scene, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy, them in space, because people thought that wasn't going to happen.
How very Fantastic Four of them.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
I hope so, yeah. I think it's Simon Kingberg, he's produced, and I think maybe written some X-Men movies. This is his first time directing. And just from listening or reading him say that he wanted, the images to pop. Like if you look at Mystique, I mean, she's really bright,
real
colors,
high def,
and I like it. It's
saturated.
Really, it's really good. If you had your doubts, like just the images alone helps me get more.
Oh yeah,
excited for this.
And
movie.
It looks like they're wearing their classic suits at the end of the last movie.
Because that was my fear. Yeah. Like we finally get them, and then the next movie, hey, we're in black leather again.
Right.
Like, oh come on. That was such a, and I remember, just to back up a little bit, when they were doing Days of Future Past, people were like, "Oh man, X-Men First Class, we got the blue and yellow suits, those are awesome." And then Bryan Singer at the time was like, "Oh, don't worry, we're gonna keep going." And of course, they had like the X2 costume designer come back, and they were in black uniforms again. Well, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine had a blue and an orange type of thing in his, but no one else really did, and. It's like, damn it, really? That close? So,
well, that's Bryan Singer for him.
Yeah. Well, that guy.
What's he up to?
Yeah, he's getting ready for prison.
Is he good?
Yeah, pick the
good
cell out.
Place for him.
What happened?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, I know there's been accusations, but I haven't heard anything.
Real quickly, he was doing the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, I believe, and he left the project because I think the excuse was family illness.
Yeah.
And they later fired him from the project.
I had heard
he wasn't getting along with the star of the film playing Freddie Mercury. I forgot his name, but he's on iRobot.
Okay.
Malik,
I know
or something like that.
The guy was in Night at the Museum.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. So anyway, he after that, an accusation came out that he did some inappropriate things to a boy. 16-year-old boy. So, and that's not the first time that's gone out there. After last, God dang, there's so many X-Men movies.
Yeah.
After Days of Future Past,
there was that big accusation.
And about kept him from directing Apocalypse. Yeah. So, bye, Brian.
Good riddance.
I don't get it.
The dominoes they haven't stopped yet. It's happening. It keeps going.
I'm really surprised we haven't heard anything from Spielberg or Lucas.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't mean to place. I'm sure they're excellent people, but how far down the rabbit hole does this really go?
I hope not, because
I hope so too.
A lot of my heroes have been
think they're
revealed,
in a little bit different class.
Yeah,
because
I would
of
like
their
to think
age
so.
Group for the most part. Now you got your Dustin Hoffman. I get all that stuff, but Lucas and Spielberg, I think, to be quite honest, they're nerds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know. And I don't think that kind of stuff was in their sphere of what they wanted to do. So, I don't think we'd see things like that, but I don't know. I mean, money corrupts.
It sure does.
Power corrupts.
Sure does.
And when you feel like you're invincible and you have enough money to do whatever you want, you start to believe your own press.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, if someone's not mentally equipped to handle it, they go nuts and do stupid stuff.
I think you're God. I mean, not to bring the show down anymore, but Harvey Weinstein recently, Salma Hayek came forward, Steve's girlfriend, and she said that she was forced to do a female girl-on-girl love scene in Frida.
Yep.
Full frontal.
Yeah.
And he threatened to kill her, basically, if she didn't do it. He said, "I can kill you."
Did you read her article in the New York Times?
I didn't read the whole thing, but
I read the whole thing.
Read that part.
Number one, it's insanely well written. I mean, she's very articulate. But yeah, I read the entire article, and just that guy's a monster. He's got to go.
Never imagined. I mean, I heard, but I just figured it was the usual higher up thing. But man, this guy, oof.
Yep.
There's gonna be a movie of him someday.
Well, Corey Feldman has been talking about it for years, so
right.
Everybody called him wacky and crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Well, they won't be missed. That's for sure. But, so this Dark Phoenix, it looks promising.
Yeah, excited.
Jessica Chastain, she's joined the cast. She's playing an alien shapeshifter. She's
Cool.
going to be a villain who manipulates the Phoenix. I don't think they've released her character's name. Maybe it's a mystery, but yeah, she's all like blonde. She's not rocking her red hair, which, you know, if they were casting a Jean Grey, man, that would have been like right on. She might be a little too old, I guess, but still.
Who's the director for this one?
Simon Kingberg. He produced like all the X-Men movies, Spider-Man movies, like all the Marvel movies before Marvel Studios came to be. Okay. So it's his first time directing. It doesn't mean it's going to be a failure, but you know, it would raise some concerns, I think. But just looking at these images, though, man, they're beautiful.
Let's give him a
striking
chance.
images. So I hope he can pull it out, and you know,
and he's had enough experience, you know, in the genre that I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, just watching other directors behind the scenes. So yeah, that'll be out November 2nd, 2018. So mark your calendars.
Done.
Awesome. Well, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, I believe that trailer got released.
Yeah.
So this is a sequel to Jurassic World, starring Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. So it looks like some time has passed in this trailer. Looks kind of like a simple plot to me. What'd you guys think of the trailer?
Well, I know I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm seeing the same story every single time with just weird little nuances, you know, just enough different.
Yeah.
But how many times do I need to see a T-Rex save the day and eat something?
But we're getting Jeff Goldblum back.
That is the highlight for me from that trailer. That was the highlight for me.
I don't know.
Maybe we get the funny Jeff Goldblum laugh in the helicopter again.
Yeah.
I love Chris Pratt, too. I mean, like I said, I know I'm going to like the movie. It's going to be dumb fun. I mean, that's how I look at it, you know, and it'll look probably amazing. You know, there's no question about that. And I love dinosaurs. So I'm already predestined to like it, but this isn't going to win any Critics' Choices Awards, you know, or anything like that.
Well, I just was wondering where they could go with it after the last one. And I did like the last one, but you know, gosh, that last one was our 4th Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah.
What else can you do with them? I guess they're going to weaponize them, but from the looks of this trailer, it's like a rescue mission. It's like Lost World, pretty much.
My understanding is that they're going to be blowing up the island.
Right. And, you know, they did introduce Ian Malcolm.
Yeah.
He was in a hearing for them to decide, the country or whoever decide if they should save the dinosaurs. And, you know, I kind of got a bad guy vibe from him. Not saying that he's going to be a bad guy, but he was saying if we're careful, they're going to be here after we are. So I was like, is he for them leaving them or killing them? Dude's
been, you know, a holiday dish for a couple movies now. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't favor, you know, certain dinosaurs. So,
and will his daughter come back and do gymnastics? That's the question.
I don't know. Who was his daughter in the last movie?
Well, it was a controversial scene in Lost World because she avoided getting eaten by like 2 raptors, I think, by doing gymnastics. So, yeah, I don't know. That was just a joke. I hope not, but maybe they will. A little nod, but yeah, from his scene, he looks pretty serious in his film. Yeah. So I'm sure he'll have some funny quips here and there, but I don't think he's going back to the island. And I think he's done there. But there's rumor that Sam Neill may come back. That would be awesome. I think that would really bring in
Laura Dern, maybe.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah. So yeah, the volcano aspect's kind of interesting. But yeah, they even had this stupid. Well, it wasn't stupid. I thought it was really cool at the time. But the ball thing those kids took to the that was still there. It might have been a different one, but they took shelter in it. It did feel like a end credit scene to the first one or something. So, and of course, I think they have another new dinosaur they're introducing.
Oh, of course.
It's like they're trying to sell toys or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, why would they do that?
I'm crazy. I can't believe I thought that. But yeah, you know, overall, I'm sure I'll go see it.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't really blown away by the trailer. Just wasn't.
You know, and like the last one, Jurassic World, I waited for it to come out on DVD. I'll do the exact same thing with this, you know.
Sure.
Now, after the first week, if someone's talking about how this is a second coming and just the best, you know, movie on the planet, I'll go see it in the theater. But
it's not even the same director, which gives me concern as well. And, you know, I've seen some of those YouTube videos of, like, behind the scenes. Little nervous.
Well, it might be a good thing because that second director, who was Colin Trevorrow, I believe, he was going to do episode 9. Yeah, he was going to do episode 9, and he got fired from that because he was becoming egotistical, and he actually had a big flop recently. The Book of Henry, I believe.
Yeah.
So a lot of word from around the set was like he was pretty much, destroying his own career. So, probably, and he didn't even want to touch the sequel at the time. So, who knows how much of that is true, but, it's very possible. But, I think Spielberg held his hand for that first one quite a bit. Not to say he didn't do anything with it. He is still producing this one. Colin is, I believe. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the last one made $1 billion, but it also had that appeal like Force Awakens did.
Right.
Which I'm sure Last Jedi it's not going to be a problem. But I think it just made $1 billion just now.
Right.
Just the first showing.
That little indie film, The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, I think.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't know. What about you, Mitch? Besides the nervousness of the director,
I don't know. That's going to be another.
Were you impressed at all by the trailer? Or?
No, wait until Rent. Yeah, it's.
I was like, am I supposed to be really like excited for this? Because I know some people on the internet were just losing their minds. Like, I just thought it was all right. I didn't. Oh my god, I got to see that again.
Yeah,
yeah. It's that I just can't wait to see it on DVD. I'll be happy to Redbox that sucker, and otherwise, I mean, to me, it appeals to a 10-year-old boy. And that's
just fine. Yeah,
totally fine. But it's it just gets sillier every time, and shame on you, Chris Pratt. Totally kidding.
Don't look at his eyes.
Totally kidding, because he will probably be insanely, by far, the best thing in that whole movie. Because he's just so good in anything. But
he has shown that we can all be Chris Pratt. Because have you seen him on Parks and Rec?
Oh, yeah.
He looked almost like me. Now I'm in great shape, but he even got in better shape.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so there is hope. So this next piece I'm very excited to talk about. Steve and I are probably going to have a little difference in opinions. We're both huge Star Trek fans. And I think, Mitch, you dig Star Trek.
Fairly, yeah.
You're not like, oh my God.
I'm not like going to...
When's the next one?
Yeah, I'm not going to drop Trow or anything. But...
Right, exactly.
Thank God.
But this is a... So
I shaved for you.
God. So the last Star Trek film we had was Star Trek Beyond, which I thought was a great film. I didn't have a problem with it.
Loved it.
A lot of people say it was
movie.
episodic, but that's okay. I thought it was a good return after the Into Darkness, which I didn't hate, but it does kind of have a bad aftertaste in a way.
Yeah.
Some of the decisions they made, but
felt forced and hurried.
Yeah, well, and when Beyond was coming
it had
out,
cool parts. It just wasn't a cool whole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and of course, Beyond had a lesser budget, which sucked. But I mean, it wasn't too noticeable. It wasn't like Star Trek V.
But in a way, did it not make it better?
The space station was sweet. And
yeah,
it still looked cool. I thought that movie looked great.
Yeah, and I like the new character that Sophia. Oh, I forgot her last
Butella.
name. Yeah, I like that character, and I hope we get to see her again.
Character was awesome.
Yeah. I
Give
hope
her
she
a
can come
spin-off.
back. Yeah, really.
That was good.
But yeah, when Beyond came out, they were talking about, Star Trek 4 is going to happen. They think they bought the website rights, and they were going to bring Chris Hemsworth back to play Kirk's father. It was going to be like a reunion type movie, and it really got me excited.
Yeah.
And this is before the movie came out, and of course the movie didn't perform too well, and talk's been pretty much dead for a while now. Even the actors on the movie, they don't know anything. So recently it broke that Tarantino actually approached Paramount and pitched an idea, and he also pitched it to J.J. Abrams, and they supposedly love the idea. He wants to direct it, but he wants it to be rated R. So currently they are moving quick on this project. J.J. Abrams is going to produce, and together they're going to assemble a writing team. The top frontrunner, I believe, is Mark L. Smith. He wrote the screenplay for The Revenant.
Ooh.
Which I love that movie.
Yeah.
That's a huge, huge movie. Big story. And yeah, the only problem is, well, many problems, I'm sure, but Tarantino won't be able to do this film for probably a couple years because he's going to do the Manson cult film next. So, the other positive is it's getting people talking again, it gets us closer to a Star Trek 4. Which I didn't know if it was going to even happen. We have Star Trek Discovery now, which is definitely going to help us wait. So that's good. But Patrick Stewart himself says, I mean, we have no idea what the pitch is, But Patrick Stewart said himself that he loved Return to Jean-Luc Picard. He always wanted to work with Tarantino, so it's gotten him a little excited. So, Steve, I'll let you take it away with your thoughts. Please don't hit me.
I feel like you think I'm going to feel like this isn't a good idea. It's not a good idea.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's a good idea. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to be great. I mean, it doesn't mean any of that stuff because I'm not a psychic. But my initial thoughts are a rated R Star Trek is not acceptable. Star Trek is built on inclusion, on, you know, all that hope and all, you know, a rated R Star Trek to me just does not sound. Discovery pushes it.
Yeah. I mean, it almost is rated R.
Yeah, they push it, you know. I don't think I'd let my kids watch Discovery, you know. But it, you know, it works to the point where it's a whole brand new crew, and so it's a little bit different. Doing a rated R with iconic characters, I don't know if I can, you know, I would really have to be convinced.
Sure.
And I'm not a Tarantino fan.
Oh, you're not?
I'm one of the maybe 3 people on the planet Earth that doesn't really enjoy his work.
I see. I didn't know that. No wonder.
Yeah, but, you know, there's no doubt he's successful, and there's no doubt he's got an enormous fan base, and it's just not my cup of tea.
Sure.
And I saw Pulp Fiction. I didn't dislike Pulp Fiction, but I also wasn't on board with the, you know, this is the biggest genius piece of work I've ever seen in my life thing. I mean, I just, you know, Travolta's in it. How great can it really be? I mean, it's not going to be that good.
That was probably the last time he was great. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it brought him back. He was doing like TV movies. Yeah. It was bad. So
yeah, I don't know. I just, now him doing the Manson cult film.
Awesome.
I'll watch that action.
Yeah.
This is going to be something I think he's going to be able to take and make it pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and again, not being a big Tarantino fan, when I heard he was directing that to me seemed like, well, this is a good marriage of him and the topic and the subject matter, you know, but Star Trek, come on, that's my baby.
I know. Mine too. You know, I think he's a great storyteller. Yes, his dialogue's very rated R, and I wonder why Star Trek has to be rated R. And the only thing I hope for is maybe it's because there's going to be some violent fight scenes. I really don't want racial slurs in my Star Trek movie, you know.
Or holding a phaser sideways when you're pointing it at someone.
Right.
Just stop it.
Yeah, so I'm really intrigued by, I just don't know. I don't know how it would work. I think he's a great filmmaker, but this is... maybe it is out of his comfort zone, I think, but he must have one hell of an idea if they're interested. I mean, it might blow us away. I mean, I'm
willing to be happily surprised. I really am.
Right. I just want the rated R to be justified.
Right.
You know, I do like his films, but I do not want a Star Trek film with the level of profanity, but I love his attention to detail, sound design, like Hateful Eight, man. That movie, that sound alone of the horses and the wagon and the environment they're in, like just listening to it, you feel like, and it was kind of like a play. You feel like you're there with those guys struggling through a blizzard, and you're in a haberdashery, you know, with people you don't know what's going on. Like, I love his attention to film and his love for film. And I did hear him years ago on Nerdist talk about the problems he had with some of the Star Trek films and what he would do. And just by listening to that, I thought that would be a really great concept. He's praised Yesterday's Enterprise, which is one of the best TNG shows out there. He loved that. He said that could have easily been a feature. He just would have expanded a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was his idea at the time anyways, to take a story from the original series, because that's another thing he said is William Shatner gets me to Star Trek. So that might mean he wants to incorporate William Shatner somehow, which that would be great if it's done right. You know, he's not going to die off a bridge like he did before. Yeah. He just talked about expanding on some of those storylines that they're just done with because of the budget at the time. So I'm very interested to see what he's got in store. I'm not crazy about the rated R thing, but the possibility is maybe they'll get a different director. He only wants to direct if it's rated R, but that doesn't mean he'll step away if he can't direct it. I'm taking it. You know, he might be willing to be, like what he did. He pitched an idea and it gave birth to writers and a different director, maybe. So
again, I won't write it off. I have a lot of reservations.
Yeah, and I totally get it. I'm back and forth on it. Like I really dig Tarantino's work, and I am excited. We're gonna get a Star Trek 4 sooner because there was like no news on it. It just died after Beyond came out, which it sucked because I liked Beyond. I thought. Man, let's keep going. Let's go. And
it really redeemed itself after the second movie.
I think so. Yeah.
But I think because of the second movie, people didn't give Beyond the chance. So
like just as filmmaking standpoint, I think it could be a great movie. But yeah, he usually writes his own material. But they did hire a writer, to take the idea further. So who knows? I just hope maybe it's got to deal with a lot of Klingon battles. That would make sense. I mean. If you watch Discovery, it's pretty gory sometimes. So if it's just because of that, I can accept that.
Sure.
It's going to suck that I can't take my kid to it or whatever,
right.
but
I can accept that more too. I really can.
Yeah.
Now, did he do the Kill Bill stuff?
Yes.
Yep.
So that I will say I enjoyed. I watched both. I have both Kill Bill and number 2 at home. I love that movie.
Yes.
Those movies. I thought those are great. So I mean, I'm not I hate the guy. I just
right. I get it. Yeah. I mean, what he did with Kill Bill was extraordinary. Like he had the Asian culture in the first one, and then it was kind of like a Western revenge. Well, it was all about revenge, but the second one was kind of more of a Western type.
Right.
I liked how he did that, and that.
And they were kind of artsy in their own way. I thought.
Of course. Yeah. Very artsy.
I don't want an artsy Star Trek.
The only thing I could see him putting artsy to is just the feel that it's 60s, even though it's in the future. Like somehow get us back to that feeling like the tech around us is kind of, I don't know. There's so many possibilities. I'm really anxious to see what this is going to be, So I'm excited, but I am nervous too. I am nervous about I don't want to, because I think it's very easy to be like a preteen kid and be like, rated R is the best. Yes, rated R this, rated R that. But I want it to be justified. I just don't want it to be an excuse to show, breasts or something.
Well,
It's
like Deadpool. I don't want it not rated R.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not rated R in itself that is the bad thing. It's just the subject matter. I mean, Deadpool as a PG-13 just doesn't work. At all.
Oh yeah.
But as rated R, it just is phenomenally perfect.
Right. Yeah. It really is. What are your thoughts, Mitch, about the whole Tarantino Star Trek thing?
Couple concerns, couple awesome ideas. The thing that really has me excited is Spock is a very intellectual guy, and Tarantino writes very intellectual thoughts. So if he does the Spock work, it's going to be amazing. The overuse of the N-word in his movies, wow. I get the point behind it, and a lot of his stuff is period. So, it has me a little bit concerned. So I wonder if they're going to tone that down, if not at all, since we're talking about the future now. Another concern is that he's a very period guy, likes to film on certain type of filming.
Yeah, no digital. Does not embrace digital.
So how are they going to be able to equate that to a lot of the new technology that they like to show and flash and bring in front of you? Is it going to tone it back and make it more like set pieces where they don't have to use digital graphics to enhance which would be cool, I think. The music will probably be different if he produces it, just because he likes to get, really exotic old time movie.
Yeah, that would be very
movie producers. If this goes well, and if it's produced, if it's made, and it is one of the best movies out there, which is a huge hypothetical, he's never made a sequel except for maybe Kill Bill. But the only reason that was made is because it was such a big story. I mean, the average script is 100 pages, if that. This was 212 pages. So they had to make it into two separate movies. Other than that, he's never made another movie after that. So if we like that version, I don't know who else out there would be able to make something anywhere similar to what he does.
Right.
So
that's a good point. Yeah,
it's
true.
And he's not a big guy that likes to leave cliffhangers. So somebody else would have to probably write that in so that there would be more movies. Honestly, I think it could really work because he's a very, likes to show a lot of gore and stuff, doesn't shy away from that. Battles would be awesome, obviously. Maybe more interaction between characters. You get a little bit deeper feel for what they've gone through in life, what brought them into, being a crew member. So, yeah, it could be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm a Tarantino fan. There are a couple movies like The Hateful Eight. That was a long freaking movie, man. I've fallen asleep way too many times to even... matter of fact, I still haven't seen the end because it's that long of a movie.
Yeah, it's a commitment.
It is. I mean, you basically have to schedule, okay, I get home at 5 o'clock from work. Better put it on now before it's, 10 o'clock and I'm asleep. But I love Django. Inglourious Basterds was a great movie. Another thing, do you really want him to... Because he said he's only going to make, 10 films in his lifetime?
So, yeah.
Do you really want him to waste... And I'm not saying waste, because I'm sure it's going to be good. Whatever he does is decent. And I understand that you don't like him, Steve, which is completely understandable. But as those Tarantino fans go, would they really want him to waste a movie on this type of genre, which he's never done? Sci-fi isn't anything that he does.
Yeah, unless he's either changing his plan or this is like maybe he means 10 films that he's written himself. It's hard to say. He has done other people's work before, Jackie Brown was a novel, I believe. So he hasn't written everything, but most of the stuff he has written.
Right,
yes, he has.
Natural Born Killers. He sold that script so he could make Reservoir Dogs.
So.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, there's so many possibilities. The way he arranges his films and how he tells a story, that'll be interesting. I don't think this will be viewed. I mean, it will be viewed as a sequel, but I think it's going to be its own story.
Well, no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I'm just saying he's never made everybody wants him back for the next movie.
Well, he's jumping into a franchise.
Yeah. Would he be willing to sign on to a multi-picture deal? No.
Yeah, no, I don't see that. I see it almost just as a one and done movie.
Would it be a part of the canon?
Go. Oh, I think it would be. Unless it's so badly received,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They can always backtrack if they wanted to, something like that. I don't know.
Right. I mean, JJ is still attached, so I would hope that he would, level the project.
Right,
yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. It's definitely getting us all talking about Star Trek.
No doubt the suits are going to be cool because his set crew is awesome with coming up with suits. So
yeah,
they're going to get a complete overhaul and it's going to be badass.
I believe it'd be music overhauled, like you said.
Yeah.
Just everything. We have a new Enterprise spoiler. So, we haven't seen that yet. So yeah, that might give us a nice 60s look in the interior because we didn't see the interior of the new Enterprise. So yeah, well, yeah, more to come on that. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the radar thing does worry me too. But I kind of have more faith, obviously. Yeah. But I don't want racial slurs and I really don't want any F words. Not trying to be like a hermit, but.
No, because the whole part is they're Greenpeace. They go out and help people. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the ship might have guns. So.
It's just, I don't know. This is a spoiler, but Discovery actually, they uttered the F word twice. Yeah. And that took me back.
But it's not on national TV. It's on CBS.
Right,
Streaming.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Access.
But, I think Discovery will help more embrace the Tarantino, if that's the way it's going to be.
Right.
But yeah, I don't want it to be like his other films with over-the-top language. I get those characters are they're out there and they chew the scenery, But yeah, tread very carefully, I hope, they will do. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Although it would be funny to see Tarantino come up with new slang terms for aliens that have not been introduced yet. That part might be funny.
Yeah. No, maybe his pitch is to get the Kelvin verse back to the Prime verse. That's how you bring in Shatner.
Right.
That would be great. I don't know if that'll happen, but I would love to see.
Get rid of the Nexus.
Yeah, I'd love to see Picard again.
Yeah.
Just to see the TNG. And maybe that would spark enough interest they could have more movies. It's endless possibilities, so we'll see. Next topic is the DC Shuffle, I call it. We've had this these slate of films released in the past of what they're going to do, you know. And of course, after every movie comes out, except for Wonder Woman and Man of Steel, they panic and change things up. Well, they haven't let us down because Justice League, of course, didn't do great. So, by their standards.
Right.
And yeah, if you spent $300 million on a budget and you only gotten back, 700 some million?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that in that perspective. Yeah, it's a flop, but they also contributed to it. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
let's rush it out to market.
Yeah.
Stop hurrying things up.
Well, before we get into that, I would like to vent some frustrations I have just with the whole Snyder thing. You know, people have really gone on his ass, and I just don't feel like it's justified. I think that's the rumor, is they're blaming Snyder for this, even though his
version of the film isn't even there.
No, it's not. I don't.
So
even
wait
think
a second. First, we want the version of Snyder. Now we're blaming Snyder. Mm-hmm. Can we pick a side, please?
Well, the Warner Brothers, they didn't want him back after BVS, but the problem is they were already in production of Justice League, so they probably never had faith, or they never thought they would get what they wanted.
Right.
Because the first screenings of what he did was viewed as too dark, and they wanted to lighten up. You know, the analogy could be like you're making a stained glass window, and it's a beautiful piece, and it's got all this stuff in it, beginning to end. It tells a story, right? WB's like, oh, you know that coloring's a little too dark for our taste, so we're going to throw a rock through the middle of it, and we're going to make it a shorter window, and we're going to have someone else come in and reconstruct these scenes and then add a few more artsy pieces, and then boom, there's your movie.
It's like Warner Brothers never watched The Watchmen. It really is.
It's just frustrating.
The Watchmen is a perfect example of what Zack Snyder does.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen it in Batman versus Superman, you've seen it in Justice League, and still people are like getting hit over the head. Oh, what?
I still enjoy Justice League, but yeah, I mean, just with
Justice League to me was great.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Just as time's gone by, I'm like, man, it could have been so much better. You know, it had some great moments, yes, but I would almost prefer a whole dark version.
Yeah,
just at least let him complete his, story, and then you can change it up.
Yeah,
they never really had faith in him, and
Please
I just feel like he gets
CGI.
a bad rap for no reason. And of course, his daughter took her life during this whole production. So, I mean,
that wasn't his fault, though.
No. They're not officially blaming him, but the rumor is behind the scenes, they're making it his fault, even though, and so far,
and shame on those who do.
Right, of course. So far, it looks like we're going to get a Whedon cut for the home video release. So, I don't know if we'll ever get that Snyder cut.
Ooh, I wonder if that means they're going to fix the CGI on Superman's upper lip.
Yeah, well, that's the problem though. They didn't want to change their release date. They could have done it. They were rushed, extremely rushed. So, the more and more you hear about this, there was going to be a black suit. That has been confirmed. They actually shot scenes and they took it out because when he comes back, they kind of leave him alone for a little bit, and then he shows up and he's all perfect. He's got a nice new suit and everything. Well, there was some stuff between that they just took out, like development stuff with a character.
Well, there had to be at some point where he came in back to the ship, stole a suit, a Kryptonian suit, and then flew off.
I think the idea was they were going to please the comic fans in a way, and it wasn't going to be exactly.
Yeah,
wasn't it going to be bearded anyway?
I don't know. Not
See,
sure.
I remember seeing pictures of him in the black suit with a beard.
There's a lot of Photoshop.
To me,
out
that
there,
makes
yeah.
I understand, but to
People
me
are
that
getting
makes
really
sense.
Good. It's tough. Yeah,
like facial hair grows after you die, or if he went dormant, maybe he still grew a beard. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not Kryptonian,
it just sucks.
so
we may not ever see that, and that really sucks because I would love to see his finished product, even though all the effects probably aren't done. But man, WB really screwed this all up.
They're very famous for screwing things up.
Yeah, they're good at it.
They got Bugs Bunny right though.
Yeah.
Well, that's before they started screwing movies up. I mean,
But this all, alludes to the Brazilian Comic-Con. They recently unveiled their next, set of films they plan to do. Wonder Woman 2, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's the one thing they've gotten right.
Aquaman, Flashpoint, Justice League Dark, Suicide Squad 2, Shazam, Batgirl, Green Lantern, and The Batman.
in the Justice League movie, who was that Green Lantern that got...
I don't know.
It's been revealed.
Because it was so long ago. It was like in ancient times. Did they reveal it somewhere?
You can go out and find the name.
Okay.
It is actually a character from the comics, but I don't remember.
I was going to say, all 3,000 some odd...
3,600.
Sorry.
Because a lot of people have
And change.
Yeah.
There's way more than that because there's only 3,600 sectors. But, they have new Green Lanterns all the time. So.
Right.
I just like when he dies and the ring falls off and starts flying and he looks...
Yeah.
That's cool. That they got right.
That's what the ring does.
Yeah.
Goes out and finds somebody else.
And then Zeus looks like from 300. That movie 300.
Oh, right.
I thought that was Jared Butler.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Jared's a stunt double.
Yeah.
He's Irish.
Less
Not
handsome
Scottish.
looking brother.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
So right now, Aquaman is in post-production. It's supposed to come out December 21st, 2018. Wonder Woman 2 so far is coming out November 1st, 2019. And Shazam's coming out April 5th, 2019. And then Green Lantern Corps is coming out July 24th, 2020. So who knows, they'll stick to those dates, but that's the plan for now. So, of course, behind the scenes, there's been a massive shakeup, just given the slate of these new films. A lot of things are missing, like Justice League 2 is missing. And Nightwing, even though they're still saying they're going to make an announcement. So it's very confusing.
Well, now there's going to be a different Batman outside of Justice League.
Well, supposedly.
That's all hearsay.
We are going to get a Flashpoint, though. So I'm glad they're moving forward with that.
Well, I'm fast-tracking it because of how good Ezra Miller portrayed the Flash. I mean, people loved him.
Great, because I want that story, and I want them to do it right. That story is a massive story.
Huge shake-up to everything.
They can't screw that up at all. They can't.
One question I do have. Say the Aquaman
There's no
does
faith
great.
that they do.
Say the Aquaman does great. Say the Flashpoint does great. Which we're talking like Flashpoint should be, in my eyes, where the Affinity is now. I mean, that's how long they'd have to build it up before it would make sense to drop that kind of a movie out.
Mm-hmm.
Say those take off, right? Why have they dropped the ball so much on Superman and Batman?
Good question.
I mean, is it that hard of a subject to grasp?
It's not hard. It's just, I think they've taken a whack at it so many times. It's like, oh, we just got to give up now. It's like, well, you guys just suck because, it's like.
You're basically taking two of the biggest DC characters.
Yeah.
And now throwing them to the wayside because there's other producers that have actually taken the time to study these Flash, Wonder Woman.
I mean, you can just see these morons work a mile away. It's just crazy. Like, just us around here, dudes from the Midwest, we can see.
We're morons and we can easily see this,
Yeah. It's like a C-average brain surgeon going to town on somebody's brain.
It's all ego.
We finally got the Superman we need and want so bad in Justice League, when he towards the end and stuff.
But that was all a Whedon thing.
But that's how Superman is.
Yeah.
Superman's a hopeful character and he's not, that scene with him in the Flash.
Awesome.
It's great.
That's that. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say. That word.
That was worth the price of admission.
That was worth the entire price of admission. It really was.
Well, I think if Whedon had his own Superman film, that would be very well received. I think he could really write for him like he did. He did add those nice touches. Like, I do like the camera video, even though it's not perfect. I do like that these little kids are asking him questions and Superman's
and that seems very Marvel-like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you could taste the Marvel in this movie.
Yeah.
The overly joyous.
Yeah. Maybe too much in certain parts, but that's them panicking though. They're just like, oh, it's
dark despair. Oh no, people can't feel those emotions.
Right. I know it's crazy, but the Flashpoint is moving forward. They're saying Ben Affleck he's contracted to be in this Flashpoint film. So
good.
Given the story, though, if you're going to recast him, this is the movie to do it. And you do it a clever way, I think, is in the beginning, he shows up, and then after, spoilers, Barry fixes things. John Hamm turns around in the Batcave and tells him thanks for the letter that his father, Thomas, wrote him.
Right.
Because I want John Hamm to replace him if we have to. Yes.
Do you think he has the face for it?
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, they have shown side-by-sides of him and Bruce Wayne. I love Affleck. I'm just saying, if Affleck is done, or if WB's done with him, I think that's shitty. But I would take John Hamm as a replacement if we had to. And I think that's the way to go. But we'll see, because Matt Reeves supposedly doesn't want Affleck. I think he wants new talent. So that's really weird. I don't know what's going on with that whole Batman project. I hope it's not another Origins. Like, we've had enough of that. Like, let's just get him, fighting crime, embracing the universe.
Batman Begins is the best origin story for Batman you could ever see.
Yeah, you can't really touch that again. Just have him in his world, taking on his rogues gallery. Don't have him retire like between Dark Knight and Rises. It's like, man, you guys were so close. And he's just like, no, he's done. He's retiring. Then he's going to come back. And then, I don't know. It's frustrating how they couldn't get these done right, and I don't hate the films. They all need to have an extended cut, except for Wonder Woman and Man of Steel. That's the only exception. So,
Wonder Woman, come on. It is. And I did like the other films too, but it is light years beyond anything that DC's done. Yeah,
and I think it's because WB they probably didn't have too much faith in it, and they're like, "Yeah, go ahead and Patty."
Well, look at the advertising they did for it.
Oh yeah,
what advertising?
That's out.
Yeah, they had no. They faith didn't have.
Thank God it was a success, because I was so afraid it was going to bomb. Because really, there was not really much word of mouth. It was terrible. So
and she is to that character what Christopher Reeves was to Superman.
You go that far back?
Oh well, I'm just saying that she encompasses that character like Christopher Reeve did to Superman.
Oh, because he brought Superman to the screen, the big screen.
He was so believable in that spot. Just like she is so believable in that spot.
Yes.
She could be the one to keep DC going.
Well, I think that's phenomenal. What they're trying to do, is have her kind of be the lead to
just like
get them all together. And
Jackman, riding the curtails of Logan to get things jump started. I mean, even when 3 was going wrong, he still kept on doing Logan movies. I mean, he was pressing for it. Yeah. Finally, we were like, okay, now we can start opening up into bigger storylines, Right.
Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting how this all plays out, because, the way it is right now, the WB strategy is one movie at a time. We're prepared to change everything.
Yeah.
Major shakeups with the execs. Justice League grossed $570.3 million so far. I read the budget was $300 million, but of course you're going to do that when you do most reshoots and, try to remove mustaches.
Yeah, and you stick to a production date that may not be realistic at all, I'd rather wait for it till March or something, if it got delayed that long, just to have something that was more in the can.
Yeah. Well, and to beat a dead horse, they never seem to have full faith in Snyder. They let him do Man of Steel. They didn't cut that down or anything. BVS, we didn't even get the full version in the theater. And, that took a home video release.
Yeah.
Like, they really screwed things up there. So it's like, you know what? That original cut that they thought was dark, it might have been fantastic.
Thank God James Cameron didn't direct it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
Rose.
Oh, God. That guy's last good movie was The Abyss.
The Abyss.
And that's a great movie.
That's before T2. You don't think T2 was great?
All right, I take that back.
T2 is like the best sequel.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That's what they tell me. I don't know. I don't think for myself. But, of course, Justice League is viewed as a failure because of the box office, even though it's still making money. It's not slowing down, I don't think. But you still have home video release whenever that comes to be. But co-president John Berg is stepping down. They have said that Zack Snyder will not direct any more DC films, possibly blaming him for their failures, even though it's bullshit.
Jeez.
He'll remain a producer on some of the DC films like Aquaman, Wonder Woman 2, I think he's producing. Jeff Johns' position as chief creative officer, it's going to go through some changes, and it looks like he's not going to get any producing credits in future DC films. WB Picture Group president Toby Emmerich, he's thinking about merging DC films with the rest of WB, so there won't be no more divide, is what I'm getting from it. So you're losing that. Getting close to what Marvel can do, you're going to lose that, basically.
Yeah.
Which is just terrible. He says he may do that, but them. One more failure, they're going to freaking... Oh, it's going to be terrible. But I don't know. It sucks. I think what's helped us have faith for more of these films like Flashpoint is they can't simply just decide to stop the cinematic universe because Aquaman is pretty much in the can.
Yeah.
So how are you going to explain that?
They've got to stop meddling and let them do their thing. I mean, I can't stress enough that if you put Jeff Johns in that Kevin Feige role, not Jeff Johns tag teamed with some studio weasel.
Yeah.
Look at everything he touches in the comics. Phenomenal. When he did Rebirth, I mean, that scene with Wally West and Barry Allen,
It's a good scene.
on.
Yeah.
That is what comic books is right there. That was just everything. And, they continue to colossally screw this up to the point where, if it's not Wonder Woman related, I'll give it a shot and see what it does.
The concern is, though, Wonder Woman 2's going to be made, and they probably will butt in more than they did the first one.
Patty Jenkins is not going to let that happen.
I hope not. Yeah.
And besides that, I mean, that's one where if they have any brains, they will leave it alone and let the talent take it. Because look at the first one. It is light years beyond anything. I mean, I would stand that movie up with any movie Marvel has made. And Marvel, and again, I joke about all the jokes, and things like that. Yeah. But I love the Marvel movies. I really do. But I mean, come on, don't screw with that.
Right.
They wanted to take out the No Man's Land scene.
Yeah, that one of the
most powerful scene in arguably recent movie history.
That was pretty cool when she gets up there.
Yeah.
That is the iconic scene. That's
my
what
wife
brings her into the world.
My wife, who cares nothing about comic books at all, in the theater watching this for the first time, is bawling.
Yeah,
right.
And you look around, and there's a lot of people doing that same thing.
It's an emotional scene.
It was amazing.
My mother said it was like the best movie she'd ever seen, and she's never told me that before.
Yeah.
Like, never. It's just crazy how it reached so many people, and I hope WB stays the hell away from the second one. Just lets them do their thing. Back off. That's what they should do with all of them. Because they have never really given full faith, it seems. And all they have is terrible ideas. And what sucks is those terrible ideas makes them decide we're not going to move forward.
Right. Because they're the ones that screwed it up.
Yeah.
And then it's like they're trying to guilt trip the fans.
Yeah.
You didn't like it enough, so we're just going to stop it. Well, maybe if you weren't a moron.
Yeah, exactly.
They screwed it up. But
what difference 2 years makes? I believe that's when BVS came out. But before that, we got that trailer at the con. Man, there was so much excitement. And just in my head, I imagined all these films they could make. Yeah. And it just seemed simple. I mean, how could you screw this up? They almost write
themselves, exactly.
How could you screw it up? So many great stories. So,
well, Warner Brothers, again, when they have these kind of properties, they want to put their own spin on something that doesn't need a spin. Batman doesn't need to have any sort of extra weirdness to it, just so, Mitch, the executive, can say, I put my mark on that. And,
that was my idea.
Right. Well, that was all me, and without me, this never would have, and that's the ego that floats around Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's the same ego that, says that they can sexually harass women.
Exactly.
It's out of control, and the movie making piece, Superman doesn't need altering. None of those characters do. They are characters that are 70, 60, and 50 years old for a reason, and that they've lasted this long because the formula is there. Don't take that formula and try to do something else with it.
Yeah, I mean that's the Dark Knight. Dark Knight effect really is. I remember at the time they're like, oh, we want to do this like Superman. And people are like, well, Superman's kind of a lighter character. You don't want to do that. And I did like Man of Steel, but it was kind of grim and dark, but it had its moments, and I think they were getting back to that. Maybe not with Snyder, but at least, they should have allowed him to complete his trilogy of films.
Right.
And then they could change it. Yeah. Because at that time, Superman would have growth and
I love Henry Cavill
different.
As Superman.
I think he's excellent. He's
phenomenal.
Yes.
And again, that latter half of Justice League, that's the Superman that's in the comics. That one right there, I saw that, and as many flaws as that movie has, Superman and Wonder Woman for that movie for me, and I love The Flash too. There's a lot of good things in that movie, but the Superman and Wonder Woman pieces, because of course she can do no wrong. I mean, she's just great. She is that character.
Yeah.
But to see Superman come back and be actually Superman, That was really cool.
And they really brightened that suit up.
And you know what?
Man.
Good.
I liked
because
it.
they brighten the character up.
And to their credit, to Snyder's credit, they brightened it up between Man of Steel and BVS too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was getting there, but they really just go for it.
Yeah.
Bright blues and reds
right.
and yellows. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I am not, unfortunately, I can't get my hopes up anymore. I know Aquaman's going to be here and Wonder Woman 2 and Flashpoint, but other than that,
it's all in the up
I don't
in the
buy
air.
this slate of films.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll happen. So, but that's pretty much all I have, guys. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to talk about.
No, I don't think so.
Ready to go see Last Jedi?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I might just get in a cocoon until Monday and stay in my house, not accept any calls, no texts, no nothing.
I'm gonna call you Saturday morning. Hey, I saw the movie.
No answer. My phone will be off. I bought 2 books, not even on my Kindle, just paper books. So if I need to bury myself this weekend,
You gonna be in some shack outside?
well, Claire's coming home tomorrow from college, so it's going to be nice to just hang out with her for the weekend, and she'll keep us distracted enough where I don't have to think about it. So.
Well, and that reminds me, go check out our Wonder Woman review episode. Claire guested on that.
Yeah.
Did a great job. Really, brought a female perspective to the show, which is what we wanted for that review.
Yeah. And she had some of her friends listen to it too from college, so that was pretty sweet too.
Yeah. Well, bring her back. Bring her back.
Yeah, I will for sure.
Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah.
She'll have to, make time in her calendar 2 years from now.
No kidding.
Well, with all that said, we will be back next week. Please check us out in the meantime on all social media, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, YouTube, and of course, fieldofgeeks.com. Steve's got a great comic blog. You want to plug that?
Little dusty, but now, yeah, you know what? That's what I should do this weekend.
There you go.
Is knock out a couple blogs.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
There's so much you could talk about.
There's a ton that I can talk
Please
about.
talk about the WB thing. Oh, God.
Actually, that's top of mind.
That's going to be 200 some
Yeah.
pages like that Tarantino
It's going to be
script.
long.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be multi-part. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
good.
Just because
Yes.
there's so much screw up
Right.
that's going on there. But, I still, go back a few years ago and I did a Star Wars blog and then a Nightwing blog.
Oh, sweet.
I remember that. Yeah.
Those have 8 to 10,000 reads
That's awesome.
and everything else doesn't get anywhere.
Hey,
So I don't know what happened to those two, but I'm trying to do more of that.
Keywords. Just put in
Yeah.
keywords.
all our listeners, go check it out. Tell them where to go.
Yeah, stevescomicblog.com. It's there's a lot of archive material on there too. So I mean, it's pretty universal. It doesn't, it's not time constraint or time sensitive. So
That's great.
Yeah, check it out if you want.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, that said, I'm Josh.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Steve.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Warp speed, motherfucker.